Finally, the real part 2 of it all. Whenever I posted the video, a lot of people were saying, what happened with the stalker? What happened? Who was he? How did it all...
Have you guys ever met anyone who got in a car accident and then a bystander from the scene was hitting on them after? No, you haven't, neither have I.
Well, let's bring him out. Here's Eric Cartman.
Woo! Wow, thank you everyone. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Last year, at this time, I sat on this exact couch, not in this exact location, obviously, but I was dressed up a little bit with this lovely girl right here, and then the other bestie right here, because I was in a terrible car accident and got a stalker. It's been a year since that. If you haven't seen that vlog telling the whole story, I'll link it below. Go watch it because it is a story in itself, but a lot of people have been asking it for a part 2, a follow-up. How you doing? They've been in car accidents similar to, they have injuries similar to. What's going on? I broke my foot in the accident using this little boot on my left foot. I broke my L1 vertebrae, or I compressed it. I don't really know the difference. Mid-September, maybe early October of last year, I was out of the brace. I was walking normally, so this happened in July of last year. July, August, September. About 3.5 months till I was out of the boot. A lot of people have been asking me, like, how long did you get back walking, all that stuff. It was definitely learning to walk again because I was used to limping around in a boot. That it was just a whole new process again. The back is a whole thing in itself. As of like last month, I just stopped wearing her to bed. I was super paranoid because whenever I sleep, I tend to twist and turn, and I was afraid that I would just do one wrong move, bam, my back hurts again. But I would wake up and it would still pinch. I realized it wasn't really helping as much as I thought it was because whenever I stopped wearing it, I don't want to say it actually wasn't really bothering me as much, but it still was. And then Judy was like, hello, are you doing your ab exercises still? And I wasn't, because I was going back to normal routine, and whenever I was in my normal routine, my ab workouts was sort of my workouts in itself because they work your abs. Nowadays, I have a whole day, a 5th day. I had a 5th day way back when, but it would just be like whatever next was in the rotation of the 4. My 5th day is now my ab day that I specifically am getting my 6-pack, as you can see. But as far as working out goes, both with my foot and my back, I'm not back at full strength, obviously, because it's been a year. And I think it's coming to terms with that is one of the hardest things. But yeah, I'm not back at full strength, and that's okay. Whenever I have a long day, my foot definitely tells me, we're done. But it is happening a lot less often than it was. Like, it just, each month it slowly gets better. It's also kind of coming to terms with the fact that, like, maybe I am just gonna have to beware because I'm so lucky I did not need surgery on either of these things. Right before the accident, I was starting to get into cardio again, and by cardio I mean power walking with inclines, which I loved, and it was hard to get back into because cardio is my enemy, I fear. Finally, as of 2 weeks ago, got back into power walking. I have on and on done it, but I was just super nervous about cardio, and let's be honest, I hate cardio, so I just was pushing it off. Around like that September mark, I was biking, but I'm now at a power walking 4.0 miles per hour pace with my normal inclines. They're like hit inclines, so it's not like the 1533 that you see on TikTok and stuff like that. I'm above that. Just kidding. Don't even ask me about running because I hate running. I don't do it. No, but I actually, the other day when I was power walking afterwards, I tried to run for a minute. It felt fine. It felt good, but the treadmill is like so hard that I just hate it. The next day, the upper part of my ankle was a little sore when I was walking around, so I wonder if that's why, but it was only for a minute, and it was at 6 miles an hour, which I feel like is like my average comfortable pace. Like, I'm not pushing it too hard at that pace, so one of those things that whenever I was on my downtime, I was like, damn, I do miss running. It's like now that I wasn't moving, I missed moving. I missed moving the amount that I never did. And be quiet, because I'm pretty sure one of my New Year's resolutions was to do like a 5K or something like that. I was over my head. I was just excited to get back moving. But I am moving. I just don't know if I want to do that kind of movement. Anyway. But you already know that I'm back in pickleball. That was like the first thing. I was like, hello, when can I do that? Just kidding. Honestly, I was weightlifting. Pickleball at first was a little bit hard because my left foot is my backhand. So when I stepped onto it, if someone put me on my backhand, it would definitely be like a little bit of an owie moment. I don't know why, like I'm sitting there scrunching up my left ankle as I'm like saying. It sometimes does bother me. Anyway, like doing any sort of twist would hurt my back, and I feel like I'm sort of fine now. Whenever I worked out last year and stuff like that, I would just so I don't think I can do it that fast or that intense anymore. And I also can't do the Sphinx. Like when I was a kid, I used to do the basket. We used to be like, put your head up, your foot up, bam, make a basket, and the teacher would come around and stuff in the basket. I don't think I can do that anymore, unfortunately. I think that's just something I'm gonna have to accept. And it's hard accepting that. I love doing that stretch for my back. And I lost a lot of strength in my bridge. My like I feel like I'm playing a lot better because I feel like whenever I was able to sit down and watch the game, because I was still coaching even a boot and I was just there a lot because my dad was my chauffeur, I saw a lot of play and I feel like it made me make all the puzzle pieces go together. So it's actually helped my coaching, I feel like, and just my play in general. As much as I may feel like my life was over with this, at least I understand pickleball a lot better now. Not understand, but like the strategy of it all. I'd be kicking butt out there on the court. As we know, as far as my driving goes, I've been trying. I've been getting there. I've been driving. I've driven alone 6 times maybe, and it's only to the gym, and it hasn't been on any big highways or anything like that because the accident didn't happen on a big highway that I am nervous. The thought of getting on a highway right now is definitely far from my mind, but I've been getting there. As soon as the 6-month mark hit with my seizure, I started driving just with my mom, and then I've been slowly building it up. I feel like my driving progress has definitely been getting there, and it's all thanks to therapy too. Not all thanks to therapy because give myself credit where it's due. I think I have been holding off getting a car though because I am anxious as like, what the heck's gonna happen? Because I don't even know what happened. And what if it's gonna happen again? But if I don't know what happened, happens again. Just getting over that fear and accepting that. But driving, we're making progress. Not have an empty mind when I drive, but not think about all the bad things. I'm trying to stay so positive about this because any negative thoughts or negative manifestations may manifest into something that I don't want. I'm trying to stay super positive about it because that's the only thing that I really can do, or else everything will go to shit. Mostly whenever I'm driving because that's the last thing I need whenever I drive. So I always try to throw on some music, talk to someone. I haven't done any phone calls because I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about taking phone calls while I'm driving anymore because that's like a fear that I've now established. But if I'm in the car with someone, have conversation. If I'm not in the car with someone, music, just focus on the music. If I notice myself lingering off like, oh my gosh, what happened in that car accident, or what if something happens again, I breathe in, breathe out. What's going on the road? What song is playing right now? What's the lyrics? Let's learn the lyrics. There's a lot of stuff on the radio that I don't know the lyrics to because I listen to the same 5 songs on repeat. That's all I know. Let's go back inside. But I would say the biggest win is I started therapy again. That took me 3 years to get back into. My therapist ghosted me when? Late 2021. It took me till early 2024 to get back into therapy, which is kind of crazy thinking about it. I thought, okay, it'll be fine. I don't need to go to therapy. Or a car accident that I don't know what happened, or my first ever seizure. So finally, let's go to therapy. So I think that's one of the biggest wins from this situation because I not only need therapy for that accident, but I need therapy for my life. My life, man. The biggest thing is Socks loves me more because I've been home more. She's like 13. She's so pretty. Aw, baby, I wish I could hold you like this all the time, but your claws hurt. Aw, she likes it. And finally, the real part 2 of it all. Whenever I posted the video, a lot of people were saying,
Where's part 2? Where's part 2? What happened with the stalker? What happened? Who was he? How did it all turn out?
I don't know, guys. That video that I posted last year, that link in my bio that's it. That's the story. He texted me those few times and he never followed up. I left him unblocked for a little bit to see if he would text me and he never did, so I blocked him. And the cop said that there's no footage of that road.
Hello.
It's also coming to terms with the fact that I blacked out. My therapist is like, sometimes your body goes in fight or flight and bam, it shuts off memory and fights for everything else. So I feel like that's what happened. I think it's a blessing and a curse in disguise. As much as I would love to know what happened, maybe whatever happened would traumatize me so much more. You know what? You're not going to remember this because we want you to live a happy and healthy life. So, you know what? Maybe that's one of the positives of it all. But people say to me, you're handling this really well. Like, oh my gosh, you're so strong. Keep going. Thank you. I appreciate it. But sometimes it doesn't feel like it. It's very hot and cold. Recovery, both with your body and emotional trauma, is so much. And it's so weird to think that it's been a year. And even to this day, like the other day, I had a whole spiral. I just sat in my bed and was like, what happened? And sometimes you have to let yourself have those moments. You have to scream in your pillow. I feel like my mom, if anyone, you can ask her the most. Like, this has not been as easy as I've been not putting on, but I feel like I try to put on, I'm strong, it's okay to tell myself that. I would have my days where my mom would walk in my room and I would just burst sobbing and she's like, what's wrong? And I was like, I don't know what happened. I just don't. I'm truly thankful for her. Like, at the end of the day, her and Sean, if it wasn't for them for the past year, I don't know. This accident has taught me a lot, has brought me a lot into my life, a lot of what feels like negative, but a lot of positive. So that's why I made this video. Different changes, that everything happens for a reason, that I just have to, I still get very anxious or beat myself up about it because I've never had a car accident before. I never had driving anxiety. Whenever I turned 16, I was like, where is my permit? And because of my epilepsy, I needed to wait a little bit, like 2 weeks or something, and I was so upset about those 2 weeks. I wanted to drive me on the road immediately. So I'm like beating myself up now, like, why don't you want to get on the road? You wanted that independence before, get it now. So I'm driving for that independence. But thank you guys so much for the love if you've been here this past year. It's me, a year later. It's all love and I'm moving again. Yeah, get those out of my face. I truly have felt my lowest of lows within the past year. I feel like a lot of worse things have happened, but it was hard because it wasn't like a one-day thing. It was, this could be my lifetime. Don't go down that spiral! But thank you so much for watching this week's video. As always, happy, Sally, Sally, peace out. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Love you guys. Bye!